guys, I'm Jared. Um, Welcome to Tag. So tonight we're gonna have a student speaker. Um, he's been at Red Barn for 16 months. He is a senior resident. I'd like to introduce Rafael Hernandez.
Hey guys, how's it, how you guys doing tonight? I'm kind of nervous. I never done this before, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my story. I was born in California, Los Angeles, East Los Angeles. I mean, everything was going smooth until, yeah. I mean, so yeah, um, yeah. Okay, I grew up with my mom in Los Angeles. We were three at that time. I never had a father. I was just by myself. Um, it was hard to see my mom take care of us. And then we went, it was hard. Started growing up, I was going to school. They used to mess with me, like trying to punk me or bully me. And so I used to just tell my mom, hey, this kid's doing something. And she'd be like, oh, well, do what you gotta do. But if you come crying, you're gonna have it the second. So I'm gonna ground you. So after that, I started getting violence. She put me on karate. And after that, everything went chaos. I like to fight. I was terrible. Every time I see somebody, fights. And after that, I started liking it. I got introduced to gangs, like the worst chaos I ever been. And I regret it. My first tattoo, I did it when I was 15. Started showing. They didn't like it, but I still do it. It was my father, he was not there to around. I find him, and then he says, "No, you're not my kid." And then that hurt it, you know. So so I say, all right then, I'm just gonna move on. And after that, going back and forth in jail. 16, I was in juvenile hall for robbery. No one there. Only my mom went one time, and she said, if you're gonna be doing this, I'm not gonna see you. So, I didn't listen. I keep doing what I was doing. So, started growing up. I got worse. I hang around with bad people, do stuff that, I regretted. And to this day, I still regret it because, I never get in my knees and forget what I did. And then, and after that, started living the life, started telling. It was easy money. I never worked. Here and there, I worked. It was easy. As soon as I started giving free money like that, I was like, whoa, okay. I started doing it and doing it. Then, yeah, when I was hit like 18, that's when my brother was telling me, come on, come with me. That's when I jumped in the gang and I got more tattoos. I regret it, putting tattoos in my head, my face. So everywhere I go, there's just problems. Problems that, you know, that people look at you or people like, they'll be like, oh, that guy's not good. So that's bad. So I did it. So I came in Utah, started doing the same thing. I got arrested. I did a year. I came out. I was clean for a minute, but I went back to my thing. I had a kid right here in Utah. She was my wife, but not anymore. She left me because what I was doing. I didn't listen. She told me every time, you better start doing your stuff. If not, you're gonna lose us. But me, I didn't, my head didn't think. So I lost her. And after that, I went back to California. I had a car wreck. Three of my best friends that passed away. I'm the only survivor. I was fighting for my life. I was in current conditions. 2 months and a half in coma. I woke up. I didn't know what was going on. The only thing I asked was my friends that my stepdad looked at me at that time. I'd be like, well, they're gone. I went back to a coma because the reaction they gave me. So sometimes I ask myself, what's my friends that I need them? They're not here, you know? The only the only good friends that you got is just your people, your loved ones, your parents, you know? Those only ones that care the most. I came back, I came back here, the same thing. Like I went back again a year and then came back and then went back again, back and forth until my mom told me, hey, you better stop because next time you'll probably be doing live what you're doing. I didn't care. I told her I don't care. Okay, you're gonna think about what I'm saying. And then I just moved on. And then yeah, I came back again. The same thing over and over, just back and forth in jail. You know, I was just wasting my life. And then and this one was serious case. I was facing 2 counts of 5 to life. I was scared. I was terrified, man. I was. I don't know. I went. I went crazy in my cell. I was like, what am I gonna do? I cried to my mom, and she like, well, that's on you. And then I was like, whoa. And then that's when Rayman came through. They did a little speech. I was not ready, but somehow I just wrote them. I didn't know they were gonna set me for my charges, but they did. That's the second chance, you know. That's why I'm here. I've been a Red One for a minute, and I'm planning to stay here until I'm ready to go out the streets.
The hardest thing for you at Red Barn, like to overcome? Like what do you struggle with the most?
The intern style, um, it's pretty hard. I thought about it, leaving, but in my head, it's telling me like, you know, just stay. That's the only last chance that you're gonna have. So I'm still here fighting, man. You know, like the intern thing is hard. It's hard. We work every day, but you know, I made it through. If I could do it, anybody could do it.
What's your what's your favorite thing about Red Barn?
The connection, the peace, the love that we all got here. That's just things keeping me nice and safe. If it was for Redbone, I would be rotting in the cells. I mean, until I change, you gotta change, you know.
So my question is, what was your pivotal change in your education? Because I remember when I first got here, we were in school in paper. There was no secret, and then it changed. Rafael Hernandez spending all your free time on your education. What made that change in your mind?
Well, I never liked school, to be honest. Never. That's my reason was to I got my first girl pregnant. I could leave school. When they used to send me to high school, I used to hit myself in the nose for I could breathe and then go home and tell my brother, oh, they jumped me. Or just not for being in school, you know? So I don't want to go to still. I didn't want to go to school. So every time when I do that, I be like, okay, stay home. When I go to the school report, like, no, 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 don't go, you know? But now I didn't want to go to school. They told me if I finish school, I'm right here in Red Bar, they said, but well, you gotta finish. I mean, you gotta start going. I even get mad about it. I told Nicolette, nah, I don't want to go to school. Like that's me. If I don't want to go, I don't want to go. And then nope, they make me do it. And then since little by little, I started liking it. I mean, it's for my own good. It's for my career that's just flashing my head. That if you want something, you better get it. Like I want to be a dentist. That's why I push myself more to go. So I'm trying to sign for college. I'm still I'm still thinking about it to stay a little bit more longer so I can finish what on my dream. All that past that I wasted it when I was going back and forth. Might as well do something in my life that I'm right here. But my goal is like to sign up for college. And I'm still thinking about it to stay a little bit longer. That's my thing right now. But to college for sure I'm going.
Most important thing you've learned about yourself since being in?
But the thing, just be kind to each other. I mean, like I was, I didn't want to listen, but right here they'll make you change. And if you don't change, well, you're gonna get some hours for it. So yeah, just just follow the rules.
Thank you, Rafael. That was a good story. Um, so we have another student speaker. Um, this guy's a leader of the house. Um, he's 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 been an inspiration to a lot of us here at Red Barn. He's been here for a while. Uh, I'd like to introduce Christopher Reyna.
Hi guys, I'm Chris R. I just want you guys to know that this is probably the hardest thing I've done so far at Red Barn. As weird as it sounds, this is difficult for me. I just want to first say that, like, even though if I start off telling a little bit of my past, like my past doesn't define me, and it didn't have much influence on the choices that I made, and it's nobody's fault but my own. But I was raised in a good home. My father is a cop, and my mom works for the University of Utah. So, I mean, I was raised in a good home with good morals and values. Raised mostly Catholic, and we went to church every Sunday, and we participated pretty heavily into it. I was pretty sheltered. My parents were helicopter parents when I was younger, and they did the best they could to protect me and my siblings from the outside world, and because like my dad saw all the nasty things, right, with his profession, and he didn't want us to experience anything like that. Looking back on it, I could see how that built, like, the rebellious part of me built it up, just because I wanted to experience things for myself, and I didn't want anybody to tell me how it was. I just wanted to experience it all for myself so I could make that decision. I was a hard worker at a young age. I had a paper out really young, and I kept that paper out all through high school and stuff. So I had a bunch of money saved up. And I bought myself a couple cars when I was really young and taught myself mechanics. That's what I was interested in. Uh, I I probably got a little obsessive when I was in junior high about cars. That's what I just studied all my time. I bought books about cars and I just studied all types of cars and everything about them. Um, I didn't start getting into trouble until um, I was 16, and I just was rebellious, and I got into street racing and was hanging out with older kids, or well, I shouldn't say kids, adults that were in that scene, and you know, they didn't have to go to school, they just worked and did what they wanted, and that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I started doing. I didn't start getting into my addiction until I got into a really bad car wreck, and I got prescribed pain meds, and that's what started my addiction. It wasn't until I was, I don't know. I had a pretty heavy addiction through college, working and going to school. I don't need to go into the progression of that, but like you guys know what it is. I didn't start needing to feed that addiction with other money until I was in my 20s. And then that's when I started my criminal activity. That eventually sent me to prison. And of course, I didn't want the law or those guys to tell me how or tell me how I needed to run my life and that I needed to follow those rules. So that just ended me back in prison a couple times. Yeah, so I'd go a couple years, have a good job, be just fine, and then like I'd make a dumb choice. I don't really, it was probably just thrill seeking. I say just thrill seeking, but the thrill seeking just got me in serious trouble every time. And then I just fall flat on my face once I went back to jail or prison, then get back out and have to restart over and over again. I thought I before coming here in jail, and I really thought my life was over. Just the time I was looking at the seriousness of my crime, and even then I still wanted to, like, I was still in denial and I was still fighting it tooth and nail of like what I was really facing. And I really was like, I'm gonna beat this. But like deep down I knew like I was screwed. And I wasn't accepting of it. I was just like, you know what, I give up. My life's over with. And I don't know how really I don't know. It's weird how things happened. But thank God that they did, and I ended up here. But I still I hated the idea of coming here. Somehow I knew it was going to happen, but when I was in jail, I was just and talking to some of the guys that are here, but I hated the idea of it completely. I was trying to get out of it every way, shape, and form that I could, but somehow Alan still accepted me. And when I was here, my early days here, well, I want to talk about the drive over here, right? My plan was not to stay. My plan was to create a whole nother identity and just go away. And of course, that would mean I would leave my family, I'd leave my son, and all that. And that was something I was considering because I didn't want to do the 2 years of this program. Weird as that sounds. But I was in the car with Kevin, and we're rolling down this street right here. the entryway to the Red Barn, and I'm looking around, and it's just this. The feeling was just so weird, like it was fall, so the fall colors were out. I didn't see any color other than gray for 6 months, and I've done longer stints where I didn't see any color, but like just seeing all the fall colors, and then come to the barn and see this big red barn, and then sitting on that bench and sitting there, and Nicholas comes up to me and he's like, he gave me the spiel about that this is the transition from your old life to your new life. You can go walk that trail, or you can sit here and wait a minute and go back here and join us and change your life. And um, for how much I fought it and I didn't want to stay here, like there was something that happened that day that, like, just sitting there, and I could hear, they were doing, Kevin was doing a mindfulness class. That's what it was. It was a mindfulness class. I could hear him back there talking. It was over there at the hub, and also looking around and seeing all everybody was like buff. And I was like, what's going on over here? These guys are they're hitting the gym. They're all positive, laughing, walking around with smiles on their faces. And it was a weird experience. I don't know if you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys probably all had that same experience on that bench. You're like, what the heck is going on over here? But and then they brought me this plate of food. It was so much better than what I was getting the past 6 months, you know. And I don't know, there was a grateful moment there. I was like, this might be something better than what I was looking at. I fought it for the longest time. I think I fought it all the way up to my resident phase. I still fight it to this day. And I'm talking about the process and what we do here, but I'm definitely more accepting of it. I don't think I'd be in the role that I am if I wasn't. But let me just tell you, my experience fighting it is if I would have bought in early on and just accepted what they were telling me to do, you know, and changed early on, like in my intern phase or my freshman phase, things would have been so much easier for me. But yeah, my rebellious part of me just wanted to fight it the whole time. I can't say it's changed me a whole lot. What it has done is just made me be more accepting of other people's opinions and more accepting of being too conforming in society. Because like if I don't conform my life, what happens is that I just end up in jail and prison. And in order to succeed in life, you must conform to society's rules. So I would say that's where my biggest changes have come from, is the realization that I must conform. And you know, happiness does come with conformity. Let's see. The biggest thing that the brotherhood that this place provides, dude. I don't know. This place would be pretty shitty without all you guys, you know? And I don't know. I just appreciate that, even though sometimes I might not be too happy with some of you guys. Sometimes I just appreciate that you're there, like when that time comes. That's all I got. Questions?
So I want to kind of know about your intern phase. That's some of us are, obviously, and I know the mine's a struggle. Some days a lot harder than others, you know. What was your hardest moments? How did you get yourself through those? I guess is what I'm asking.
My intern phase was 4.5 months long. It wasn't till I started my 3rd month of my intern phase where I just decided just to focus everything in work. Be the first one in that kitchen finishing those prep dishes to the last one out of it. Being the first one over there for snack time, cleaning it, and being the last one out of there. Just focus on work. The menial tasks really got to me, you know, especially having somebody tell me how to do those menial tasks. I'm like, I already know what the hell you're talking about. I don't need your input. But really, I just focused on being present in the moment, and focusing on work is what got me through it. It's like, it was hard. It was not the hardest thing I've ever done, but just being able to accept some shit where somebody's telling me how to do things, that's the hard part, you know? And then everybody reassuring me, be like, you have things coming, you know, just stick it out, see the magic happen. And that magic does happen. Things do change. And you probably won't even notice it at first, but like, it happens and it's kind of subtle, but not at the same time. But when it does happen and you're able to like think back on it and look back at it and realize that it did happen, it's pretty cool.
What's your best day and your worst day here?
My worst day was my 23-hour grinder in a sandstorm and a blizzard and the freaking third floor long hall upstairs with a hoarder that hoarded books and big boxes and nowhere to put them and no bridge time. That was, if anything was going to test me to my limit, like I thought I was going to have a heart attack that night. Like that's how strenuous that job was. Is every step I took, my heart was hurting. And if anything was going to push me to my limits and test my metal, it was that day. Yeah, that day was crazy. And you know what's weird? It wasn't even my worst day. It was just so freaking painful and just walking around saying F this, you know, like what the freak is going on? It was just so crazy. My best day here, man. It's the day that I got to see my son for the first time since the last time I seen him.
Chris R.
Yeah. Chris R. So the question that I have for you is, when I think about like a big change, when the person that comes to my mind is one person of you. I just remember the whole time you've been here, you know, all the way up to about 7-8 months. What helped you flip that switch from that pessimistic view of life to now being grateful for where you're at? Like, what helped you, man? Because it was like almost overnight. You were so happy. I remember you hating to move anything on a move, right? And the next you know, you're on my move a few months later, and you're wanting to get everything. Like, what happened?
I wish I could pinpoint it. But I can't. It's that's that magic thing that everybody talks about here, you know. That's what happened. Somehow I just accepted it.
So what would you say your why is today, and how has it changed from your why when you first arrived?
My why when I first arrived was to do my time in a better way. That was my why. How's it changed now? Is like it's about the next person. It sounds so cliche when you're first here. They're like, oh, make it about others, you know, but and especially with like me, was as vain and selfish as I am. It sucks when you see somebody that like you care about, because you built this relationship with, and they go down that trail, you know. It hurts. And so the making it about others, like we all have the same goal and mission here, you know, is to get our lives back. So if I can help any of you do that, that's what I want to do.
So the whole goal here is like to teach us to be leaders, right? So like what made you to be a leader? Like how did you become a leader? Like how did that happen? How did that look for you?
I didn't want to be a leader. I didn't want to be. They kept asking me to ask for leadership. I'm like, nope, no, I didn't want to do it. So what are you asking? Like what?
You get to become a leader, like, I guess. And like, what were the steps that you took to become a leader?
That's what you have coming, man. It's just gonna happen, you know. And then when you get in that position, you just assume it. You act like a leader.
So, well, that's kind of answering your question more differently. What made it go from I'm not going to make it to you making it now? Because I remember 18, 19 months ago, you saying at your company that the thought was, I'm definitely not going to make it. You know, but when did you realize you were going to make it? When did you want to make it? I think.
Well, it's just everything that I possibly could get back, what I had over my head, and what I wanted for myself. Is did I want to go try and create a new life and live in chaos, or did I want my family back, my life back in a better way?
So Chris, sorry, I have one more question. I'm going to bring up the other because you just skills I saw. Did you ever see yourself? I understand your leadership, but your patience and your ability to go quickly, but to make sure you're doing things precisely, you know, such as laying down pads and moving this angle and doing this, and taking all those precautions, and taking the time to teach me, the youngest brother on the move. Did you ever see that coming when you first got here?
No, I didn't see it because I didn't want it when I first got here, and I didn't want any of that in my red shirt or the beginning of my blue shirt. I didn't want it. I just wanted to do the bare minimum, get by, do my time, and deuce it, you know. But like it like I said, things change, and I can't pinpoint it. It just happened.
So number one for you, that best takeaway from
I have a real big problem with authority, and even not even authority, just having somebody else tell me what to do and how it is, and just that's like James said, patience with that. That's going to be the biggest thing that I've taken away from this place. Doing something that someone else wants me to do.
What's your favorite thing about Red Barn? Huh? What's your favorite thing about Red Barn overall?
Overall, dude, I have to say that I'm part of that moving company, like, is a big deal for me. Like, that moving company is badass. Like, it's not about the stars, you know. It's not about this 5-star reviews that we have. It's not about the multi-million dollars that we make a year, you know. But like, a whole bunch of freaking felons are running that multi-million dollar freaking moving company is badass, you know. And like, I have so much pride because of that. Plus, it feels cool driving that big ass truck. Okay, thank you.
So I'd like to thank Chris R. and Rafael for sharing their story tonight. That was pretty awesome. So yeah, two very inspirational stories that we heard there. So, and with that, that's Tag. Yeah.